Looking to pick up your very own custom sleeves? Well, look no further. Go to yourplaymat.com where you can choose to have your very own image on the back of sleeves, or you can choose from their amazing range of pre-designed artwork ready and waiting for you. Get them shipped directly to your door and use the affiliate link and discount code down below to get 10% off. What are you waiting for? Go and grab your custom sleeves from yourplaymat.com. What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr War Games, and today I am bringing you the winner of the poll, and that is of course Pure Live Twins. Now this is pure, it is kind of the 20 cards revolving around Live Twins, and then 20 other cards which can either be control cards or hand trap cards, or if you wanted to be like the original build that I did for this, you can play Dangers, because keep in mind that most of the Live Twin cards, or all of the Live Twin cards, when they use their effects, lock you from the extra deck for specific types, so the Dangers can help get you additional bodies on the board and can help extend you through your plays. On top of that as well, the Dangers do give you a little bit more consistency and give you some boss monsters. The other version of this is of course the Evil Twin version with the Unchained, and that again works incredibly well, but I'll be waiting for the new link to update that as well. With all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more content. If you do want to be seeing a test stand video for this deck, then you want to make sure this video gets at least 50 likes. With all of that out of the way, let's dive headfirst into the profile, and pretty much standard as it comes, we are playing triple Live Twin Kisakil and triple Live Twin Leela. Now, this is all pretty standard. There's no reason to be playing less of this unless you kind of want to be messing around with the ratios of the other twins. Now, with the other twins, I am playing 1 Treat and 2 Frost. I personally feel that Frost is better than Treat, and I think most people that play this deck will agree with that, which is why I'm playing Frost at 2. Now, the idea behind these extenders specifically, now that we have our own Tenki, is the pure sense that if your Kisakil or Leela 9 times out of 10 are perfect Ash, Imperm, Veiler baits, then you'll still have the ability with, of course, a Treat or a Frost to special summon it down and go full combo from that point on as well. So there's a lot that you need to keep in mind. The reason that we go with more Frost over Treat is because Frost has a better graveyard effect. If your opponent adds a card from their main deck to their hand, by card effect, except during a draw phase, you can banish this card to draw a card. Now, the reason that's really good in this particular version, because we have gone for the hand trap route, is that draw could be anything that can help interrupt your opponents. So they're actually giving you a bonus just by searching themselves. So for example, if you were to banish this and search and get to a draw, the next time they search, you go draw, lockout, no more. If you get into an Ash, great, you can disrupt the next search they try to play. Whereas Treat just basically allows you to reduce the attack of one of your opponent's monsters, which is sometimes quite useful, but considering the Evil Twins are relatively weak, which is why we also play the 1 Evil Twin Kisakil and Leela. Now, a lot of people will be like, what? How are you playing that? Well, this is a pure version. What you also need to keep in mind as well is because we do play the Link Devotee and Disciple combo, you can still use those to get into your Evil Twin Kisakil and Leela boss monster as well. The chances are you're going to be using the Evil Twin Kisakil and the Evil Twin Leela to summon themselves back so they'll both be on the board. And then what you're doing by tributing both of them off for your Evil Twin Kisakil or Leela is getting a boss monster on the board. Now, this will become 4,400 attack with these in the graveyard, and it will help clear your opponent's board off. Should your opponent negate this, or if you've baited your opponent out earlier, you're going to have a 4,400 beta on the board and leave your opponent with only 2 cards. Off of the back of that, all you then need to do is normal summon either a Kisakil or a Leela, and then special summon another counterpart. Doesn't even need to be a Frost or a Leela by the time you've got a Kisakil and a Leela in the graveyard. You just need another monster, because all of these either need a Kisakil or a Leela to make it. It then means you can revive one of the Link monsters to either pop one of the remaining 2 cards left, or draw a card and then pop a card. And you're constantly going to get, yes, you may make this weaker, but after you've done all of that, you would have cleared your opponent's board off and then draw an additional card, and then you can go into a boss monster like Unchained Abomination. That then gives you 7,400 attack on the board, not to mention if you've burnt your opponent through any of your other effects and the brand new Tenki, this can lead you to game. So that is the reason we've gone with a single main deck boss monster. Now, I'm not going to show you the rest of the monsters. I'm going to show you all of the Live Twin cards first and then go through the rest of the deck. So we are playing triple if I had the third one. Live Twin Sunny's Snitch. Now this card is insane, absolutely love it. So when this card is activated, you get to add a Live Twin monster from your deck to your hand. That will allow you to search an extender should you need it, or it will let you search a starter in the form of Leela or Kisekil. On top of that, while you control an evil twin monster, each time your opponent normal or specials a monster or monsters, you gain 200 life points and they lose 200 life points. This is one of the best cards for time because you know that they're not just going to go, okay, sit there for 3 minutes without normal summoning or doing anything. They are going to either have to trigger this and hope they can OTK and you can't disrupt them enough, or they're going to have to pass and you're just going to go, cool, great, I'm going to go in for damage now. You can only activate one of these per turn, otherwise it would be broken, but the fact that this can search your extender or your starter just makes it incredibly broken for this particular deck. If that wasn't enough, we are playing triple secret password, so you get to add a Live Twin or Evil Twin, Live Twin, spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If you control a Kisekil monster and a Leela monster, you can add an Evil Twin monster from your deck instead. Well, I don't need to worry about that now because I just go 1, 2, monster, done. Password can also get you Live Twin home. We are only playing 2 of this because this is the one card that does lock you out of the extra deck and only lets you special Live Twin monsters. So until we get the Link 4, you are going to be restricting your plays to only the Evil Twin Kisekil and the Leela. You discard 1 card to special summon a Kisekil monster or Leela monster from your deck. For the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Evil Twin monsters. Only activate 1 per turn. Now again, with this particular card, quite like Signet Mining, you're having to discard as cost, so you are already going to be negging a card. But if you're putting something like Frost in there, you're then going to be able to get some form of additional draw during your opponent's turn should they add a card from their deck to their hand. Now this isn't the best card by far, and if you wanted to go for a more control route, you could even cut this down to 1, but this is just another way of having a starter. So at the end of the day, if you open up a Leela or a Kisekil, then you don't need to worry about this. You can set this do it during your opponent's turn just to give you an additional monster on the board that can then make your IP Masquerena make the Link summon of Unicorn, or of course Unchained Abomination, or even go into the Goddess of the Underworld without having to worry too much. Now obviously by doing that during your opponent's turn, you need to make sure that you've already made that play, and this is just going to be the bonus because the Kisekil or Leela monster you put on the board is then going to be able to pretty much protect, because if they try to attack, they burn for 200. Other than that, if you do it during your turn, you are literally just getting there to get one of your starters straight off. Now we move out of the Live Twin cards and into the rest of the cards in the deck, and I'm going to again do this in a little bit of a weird fashion, but we're going to go with triple Signet Mining. Now, I know I've already told you that you've got 2 Live Twin home, plus triple password, plus triple snitch, and they're all going to get you to a Live Twin. So why would you want Signet Mining, which can also neg you a card? Well, the reason we're doing that is we are playing 2 spicy Cyverse cards that can help you out. So the one is a Cyverse Converter. So if a monster you control, or if all monsters you control are Cyverse minimum 1, you can special summon this card from the hand. You can only special summon 1 Cyverse once per turn this way, and when this card is normaled, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, and it becomes Cyverse. So the idea behind this is if your opponent does Veiler, Ash, or Imperm your first Leela or Kisekil, you can special summon down the Cyverse Converter and go for the full Link Devotee and Link Disciple plays. The reason we've got the Ibli is a very good normal summon for a bit of a later game or a grinded game for turn 2, because you can normal summon it and then target a Link monster in your graveyard and special summon it to the field so it points. Its effects are negated, but because you'll be bringing back a Leela or a Kisekil, you can then use Ibli plus that Leela or the Kisekil to go into the other counterpart. By doing so, not only do you give your opponent Ibli so that they cannot special summon except Link monsters, but you also get to recycle the Link monster you've just brought back and negated the effects by making the other Kisekil or Leela. On top of that, if this is a card you normal summon and do the Link Devotee combo, because you can normal summon this, special summon this, Link Devotee combo, give your opponent an Ibli, and they are then locked out of special summoning, protects you from stuff like Nibirus, Imperms, Gammas, the whole 9 yards. Speaking of Gamma, the other reason that we do really enjoy playing Signet Mining, and the other reason that when you're playing this, I would arguably say you want to start your plays with either Signet Mining, Secret Password, or of course a Snitch before you use your monster, is because you are pretty much screaming to your opponent, hand trap me, I dare you. Because if they do hand trap you, you just go, cool, boom, Gamma. And as soon as you've gammaed your opponent, not only do you get to continue to make your combos or your plays, yes, the only downside that would really suck is if you don't get the monsters off the board. But what does Gamma and Driver make? That's right, it makes an Omega. So what you do, after resolving the password to get to your Sunny, or after resolving mining to get to your starter, you then make the Gamma and Driver turn it into Omega. Omega's effect rip ones from your opponent's hand. That leaves your board completely clear to start your Leela and Kisa Kill combos, and it leaves your opponent with only 3 cards in their hand. So if you were to rip out a core component that they needed to continue with, not only have they lost an Ash or a Veiler, well, more so Ash than anything else, but if they've lost an Ash, they're also going to lose another card in their hand, which could be a starter. It doesn't really matter because you're then going to be able to continue to combo off, and at the base minimum, your combo is going to lead to at least 1 Disrupt, if not going through the Link Devotee and Disciple combo is going to lead you with 2 interrupts as well. Which is why, in my opinion, one of the first hand traps in this particular deck is Gamma, because the way I see it, a card as strong as Gamma, if it's going to be able to protect my cards as well as disrupt my opponent, why not? I've then gone for a very high level of hand traps, because the way I've seen this is, if I go second, I'm going to make sure my opponent doesn't play with the amount of hand traps I have. If I go first, I only need 1 to 2 cards to go full combo, and the rest of my hand is going to be drawn from the additional card effects as well, and can help me interrupt my opponent. So you play 3 of the best hand trap, which is Ash, Blossom and Joyous Spring. I have gone with a balanced of the rest of the sisters with 2 Ghost Belle, 2 Ghost Mourner and 2 Ghost Ogre. These can be any meta cards of your choosing. They can be Lanciers, they can be Drolls, they can be Crows. It is entirely up to you. The reason I went with the Mourner is because it's a funny little tech that is working around locals right now, and I like the idea of bringing the sisters together. The only thing I don't have in this deck is the Reapers, and if I did, that would be awesome. And I would have liked to have the set in gold, but obviously Mourner is not gold as of yet. The final monster hand trap we play is Veiler, because it is not a once per turn, and being able to drop these on your opponent's Tri-Brigades really hurts them. Not to mention if you Mourner on something like the kit, not only are you negating its effects, but it's very rare that your opponent might leave that kit on the board, or if you do it on the Ferrigy, it's rare that they'll leave that Ferrigy on the board as well. Then for the final hand trap, triple infinite impermanence, because not only can you set these to deal with a column card, but it can also be used turn 0, and of course going first as well. So should your opponent put a barrier statue on board, or should your opponent put a Vanity's Fiend on board, very rare, I know, but you can then imperm it and be able to continue your plays from that point on. So yes, it is a huge amount of hand traps. You are looking at about 17 to 15 hand traps. If you wanted to go more controlled, by all means you can do very easily. I just felt that the hand trap version was a little bit more superior, because whether I go first or second, the hand traps are always going to be effective. Whereas if I play control cards, they're only going to be good going first. And if I don't go first, they're pretty much going to be dead cards in my hand. Last thing as well, with the Cyverse Converter, it is a level 2, which is very important once we get to the extra deck that I'm about to show you. So for the extra deck, let's go over the non-link monsters first. Now, I'm going to show you 16 cards. I haven't decided which card I want to cut as of yet. I'm still working on it. I'm considering, and I know this sounds crazy in a pure Evil Twin deck, but I'm considering putting Leela down to 2 because we're going to be able to recycle it relatively easily, but that is still to be decided. So we play the 1 Omega, and then we play the Zeus package of Cavalry Centuria, Downed Magician and Zeus. So the reason you play Downed is so that Zeus has 2 board clears and sends. It can happen. There are times where you might not want to go, or you might be going second, you might want to clear a board. They might negate without destroying your first Leela or Kisakill. And then that lets you go into your Sky Cavalry Centuria with an extender to then go into Downed or attack with either one of these, because obviously Centuria can't be destroyed by battle. Then go into Downed, then go into Zeus. Zeus can then go, cool, boom, let's clear the entire board. Obviously Omega, I've already explained that one as well. The link cards, of course, we are playing the 1 Disciple and the 1 Devotee. So there's a very kind of cool combo behind this that if you open up, and again, shout out to Top Tier Gaming on this one, because I looked at their combo and it is pretty convincing. Your board pretty much ends with a full loop of the Live Twins. So you go through 2 Kisa Kills and 1 Leela. So that means during your opponent's turn, you've got a revival of a Leela to pop a card, but you also end on a IP Masquerena as well. So that leaves you with a draw from Disciple that gets to fix your hand should you have bricked a little bit, but it also gives you that ability of having your Live Twin pop, plus a IP, which is then going to lead into a unicorn, and you're, like I said, you're pretty much repairing your hand from that point as well. Then, of course, we are playing at current triple key to kill and triple Leela. Pretty straightforward on these ones. Leela is the only one, like I said, because key to kill is more important, because you want the Leela to be coming back from the grave to pop. You could, if you were going to cut any of these, it would be Leela down by 1, but that's still something for me to kind of decide, and maybe your feedback in the comments will help me decide that. The last cards are IP Masquerena plus a Nightmare Unicorn plus an Unchained Abomination and the one Underworld Goddess of the Closed Worlds. Keeping in mind that once you use the Leela or key to kill effect, whether it be during your turn or your opponent's turn, you are locked into Fiends, which is why the 3 cards coming off of IP have to be Fiends. The Abomination is a Fiend boss monster, so you can do it during your turn or during your opponent's turn and get an end phase pop. On top of that as well, Unicorn can become double co-linked with 1 Leela and 1 Kill by the end of the combo. So that does mean that Nightmare Unicorn will allow you to, I believe, draw you an additional card. But if it doesn't, you could also go for a Nightmare Phoenix. And the one good thing about a Nightmare Phoenix is if it points to Leela, I believe it can't be destroyed by card effect. So it does give you a little bit of additional protection should you need it. But Unicorn is just better all round because it deals with front row and back row. And you're definitely going to have enough materials to make this. Underworld, of course, is just Underworld. You get to use one of your opponent's monsters with your IP, and that can really stump them if they're not expecting it. And like I said, the Unchained Abomination is just your generic rank 4 boss monster, but that will change once we get the new Link 4 in Burst of Destruction as well. Anyway, I hope you like this video. I hope it's kind of given you a couple of ideas. I've tried to make it a little bit more unique and different at the moment. I wouldn't say the Evil Twins are cookie cutter, but because the Evil Twins themselves only take up a portion of the deck, you are looking at filling the rest of the deck in either with dangers as extenders and draw power, or control cards so that you literally get combo, sit on it and pass, or in this particular version you're going with hand traps to balance out going first and second and try and get as much success as possible either way you play it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a very simple 1 card and 2 card combo of how this works. Now, all of the cards laid out in front of you all contribute towards the combo. So the Live Twin Snitch and the password can kind of count for either your starters or your extenders, and ideally all you need 1 starter and 1 extender. So you've just got ultimate ways of getting where you need to go. So we'll do it with the most recent kind of combos that we've got, and we're going to start off with the Snitch and the Key to Kill, or Leela, doesn't really matter, and then we're going to use 3 of these face downs as just random cards. So we're going to show that you've got your full hand. So it'll be pretty much anything you want. But you can do all of this with 2 cards exactly. So what you do is you normal summon your Key to Kill or your Leela, whichever one you kind of have in the hand. That will then special summon you the other component from the deck. Now, if this does get stopped, that's where you can still make the first 1 card combo with the extender. So the 1 card combo is literally you play these 2 cards here, link them together. You can go the devotee route if you want, but without getting a Key to Kill or a Leela, your board's not as interactive as you want it to be. So if you want the draw, which ideally going first is what you want, you need to start with a Key to Kill. So you always start with a monster that you want to resolve the effect off of. Key to Kill's effect will bring back the Leela from the graveyard, and you're then going to link these 2 together and go into the Leela. You're then going to use the Leela effect to bring back your Key to Kill, which will let you draw a random card. And then this is the point where, shamefully, we have to kind of overextend a bit and pretty much overpay for a link, and you're going to make a second Key to Kill. By doing so, what you've done is you've removed Leela from the board, so you can bring Leela back to pop a card and pretty much play from there. Now, if we rewind this combo, that's all from 1 card. If we rewind this combo all the way back to the start, and we introduce the Snitch or an extender, then you see how much more you gain. So we're going to put the draw back to the top of the deck. Normal summon the Key to Kill, special summon out the Leela, activate the Snitch, search yourself out. Frost is the ideal one in my opinion because I just think it's better in the graveyard. Special summon down the Frost, put this out of the way. And then you're just going to go for the standard combo of putting Leela or Key to Kill, doesn't matter which one, into your Link Disciple. You then put the other one into your Devotee. Trigger Disciple's effect to tribute off the Devotee to give you 2 tokens, to draw a card and put 1 back to the bottom of the deck. So we're not even going to count that as a general draw. And then what you do is use both the tokens and go into IP Masquerena. Pretty straightforward on this one. Just find out what IP is. There we go. Go into IP Masquerena before you start using the Key to Kill and Leela's effects, because that's when you lock yourself out. So then you're going to use the Disciple, plus you're going to use the Frost on the board and go into, again, because you want the draw, you go with the Keys Kill. Keys Kill will then revive the Leela from the grave, link these two together, go into Leela. Leela will then revive the Keys Kill, and it's very important that you put it over on the left hand side or the center column, purely because you're coming back from the graveyard. It can go wherever, but you want to make sure that it's pointing to the link monster, because this link monster here or here is going to become your unicorn. You then get a draw off the Keys Kill, so you've replenished pretty much the one card you've used to make this combo. And then what you need to do is you need to again use Keys Kill and Leela to make your second Keys Kill. And this way, what this does give you is this gives you a draw plus the pop during your opponent's turn. If you keep both of these on the board, again, it's absolutely fine. But what you're doing is you're only going to then get either the pop or the draw. So it depends if you really want to burn through your extra deck or not. So what you do is during your opponent's turn, you need to make sure you shotgun the Keys Kill slightly early, because then by doing so, you bring back your Leela. And again, Leela needs to either go here or Leela needs to go here so that it's pointing into the main zone. Then trigger the effect of Leela to pop a card, which is great. Then use IP Masquerena to trigger the effect to use Keys Kill. And you've got two options here. You could go into Abomination. And the one thing about Abomination is if you do the link play the other way around, and rather than going into a second Keys Kill, you go into a second Leela, then what you do is you shotgun early to get the draw, and then you use the IP Masquerena plus the Leela to make your Abomination, so that when you've got the Keys Kill on the board, Keys Kill use the effect to bring back Leela, and you get a double pop. So it really does come down to whether you want a double pop, whether you want the draw or anything like that. So Abomination is one route. Your other route is going to be a Unicorn, because then what Unicorn will allow you to do is discard one and then draw one, so you maintain your hand advantage, especially if you're burning through and drawing into hand traps, you're good to go. Then you activate Leela's effect, bring back, draw a card off of the Keys Kill's effect. Then if your opponent does decide to search at any point, which 9 out of 10 they will do, you can use Frost to draw a hand as well. So you've replenished your entire hand, you've got a co-linked Unicorn, you've got your Leela and the Keys Kill. Another option, which I didn't put in the profile, which I wish I had now, is Griffin. And if you're going to put Nightmare Griffin in, again, like I said, the extra deck's a little bit tight at the moment. You can probably make some sacrifices for what you might want to prefer to play. And I think Griffin could be a better option because it does skill drain. The only weakness with Griffin, which is why Unicorn's a little bit better, is because the spin of Unicorn sometimes might be more consistent than a skill drain, because all your opponent needs to do is link a monster together and then don't even need to worry about the skill drain. But the idea is you've replenished your entire hand, you're then going to start your turn with 7 cards in hand, plus you've got these two here, so as long as you don't use any effect, if you've got access to it, you can just make access code straight away. Even if you don't, you can link these two together, go into your Unchained. Unchained is going to give you the ability to pop. The other option as well is, rather than using both of these, let's put these back the way they were. Rather than using both of these, what you can do is use Unicorn plus Leela and go into your Abomination, because then you can use Keys Kill's effect to bring back said Leela to pop a card, and then Abomination will go off to pop another card. And all you need to do is normal summon any of your 7 cards you've got in your hand and link it with the Keys Kill to make a secondary Leela. To make a secondary, not Keys Kill, to make a Leela, or link up into something else that is another Fiend. And then ideally what you're trying to do there is you're going to then revive the Leela. So let's say we've normal summoned this card, linked it off, done whatever you need to do. And you're trying to get the Keys Kill to graveyard, so you can use Leela effect again, bring it back, draw a card. And then you're still just replenishing your hands. And because of the particular build that we've gone for, it's so hand trap heavy that you're going to open up so many more disruptions that your opponent is not going to be able to play. That's pretty much the idea, is that even if you can't OTK, because at the moment these are weaker monsters, you're just going to basically say to your opponent, you cannot play the game, I'm going to stop you playing where at all possible. Anyway, I hope this combo's kind of helped as well. They're very basic. They're pretty much shown on all of the Live Twin kind of decks, and I thought this one would be a little bit more pure focused than the rest as well, just to kind of give you a different option. The deck's really cool. It gets even better in Burst of Destruction, so it's definitely worth picking up now while you can, and kind of go from there. But for now, as absolutely always, guys, stay safe, and as always, happy dueling.
Looking to pick up your very own custom sleeves? Well, look no further. Go to yourplaymat.com, where you can choose to have your very own image on the back of sleeves, or you can choose from their amazing range of pre-designed artwork ready and waiting for you. Get them shipped directly to your door, and use the affiliate link and discount code down below to get 10% off. What are you waiting for? Go and grab your custom sleeves from yourplaymat.com.